Michelle is a musician with albums released as Everyone Except Me and artist behind the post-apocalyptic webcomic Stray Cats. She's kind, a bit shy, and furiously creative. Henrique is a filmmaker with over 24 films and TV shows as producer, director, and occasionally host. He also released a couple of music albums. He's bombastic, larger than life, and tenacious almost to a fault. Together, they've been best friends for a decade. This show is awkward.
Anyway, as if we were just talking, really. So I am excited to tell you, Michelle, that things are getting very Christmassy at my house.
That's nice.
Yeah. In fact, I'm such a Christmas nut that I'm apparently, as of about an hour ago this morning, letting winter into my house.
Oh.
Because my furnace isn't working again.
Oh, like just totally not working out?
Well, no, it's kicking on and not heating anything.
Oh.
The technician was here yesterday installing a new piece into the furnace, which had not malfunctioned in 2 weeks. So I got up this morning, and the house was perfectly fine. I usually keep the thermostat at around 68 or a little lower, maybe 67. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, it's 68 degrees. And I'm like, well, I got to record the intro to Weekly Spooky and then record with you. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll just what I always do is I always turn the thermostat up a couple of degrees or down a couple of degrees, depending on, what the temperature is.
Yeah.
Whether it's summer or winter. That way it can blow while I'm getting ready, and then I can shut it off while I record and, not get freezing or get super hot. You know what I mean?
That's smart. Yeah. I mean, you have that thing. You have
central heating and cooling.
Yeah, but very specifically, you have forced hot air, so it makes a lot of noise. Yeah,
it does make a lot of noise. So, so I did that. I was like, okay, well, I'll put the thermostat at 70 degrees and work for about 15 minutes, and then turn it off. Mm-hmm. And I turn it to 70, and I work, and then I come back, and I'm like, oh, it's 67 degrees in the house now. The heater hasn't come on at all, and I can't. I've reset it like 3 times, and I can't get it to kick on. It'll kick on and blow, but I'm not hearing the rumble of the heat coming on. And I'm extra bothered because it was about 2 weeks ago. I was having because I've talked to you about this for years. My furnace has just been having it'll have these inconsistent problems where it doesn't kick on for a while, and then all of a sudden it kind of comes back. But they're completely unpredictable. There's no way to predict them at all. So I had on Thanksgiving weekend, I had a technician come out and check it out, and he couldn't get the problem to happen again, but he was able to diagnose that there are 2 possible causes. And one of them was a faulty circuit board. So they special order a circuit board, and he showed up yesterday to install it. And now magically today, the heater works less than it ever had.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm trying not to be pissed, but I'm pretty pissed. I have a lot to do today. Mm-hmm. And it's the best, a lot to do days are the ones where you cross every single element that you need to get done, of things you need to get done. It can't just be personal or just be work or just be, it has to be all of them. So it was I had to wake up, and first thing in the morning, I had to record a podcast. Then I have to record a podcast with you. Then I have to go to the vet and do veterinarian stuff. And then I have to turn in some photos I took. And then I have to film popcorn fodder.
Yeah, that's a bunch.
Yeah, and now it's and fit in the technician coming, which they should be here by 3. Okay. So hopefully the place won't get too fucking cold by then.
Yeah, I mean, is it cold out there today?
I haven't checked. I believe that the high is under freezing today.
Okay, so it's not warm. Yeah.
No. The high is 28 degrees today.
Yeah, that's not great. No.
So, I mean, it'll probably be worst case, 55 degrees or 50 degrees by the time they get here.
Yeah. It's probably not even going to be that low.
Hopefully not.
As you, don't do anything or open the door.
Oh, so now you're saying I can't open the doors ever?
No. Or the refrigerator, because that'll let the cold air in.
Well, and the best part is, so as I'm sitting here recording with you, I'm like this is like my worst nightmare because I'm not able to do anything the way I like to do things.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I have my office door open, which I hate because you can hear, I want to hear as little as possible on my mic, but I have to leave the office door open because I need to listen to the damn furnace. To see if it tries again. Then second part, I have my furnace on at all, which I usually do leave it on if you and I are recording because it's a little bit more relaxed of a thing. It's not like, I don't have to capture like a perfect dry vocal.
Yeah,
we're talking.
Yeah.
This is also the first time we've been meta about the fact that we're doing a show, so it's weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Usually we don't. But and then on top of that, my phone is out and on vibrate because there is a chance that they're going to call me and say they can send someone earlier.
Right.
Which would be ideal.
We could still do the podcast while they're here.
See, that would be pretty cool. I could hand him the earpiece and just be like, "Hold on, Michelle's going to ask you what you're doing. She's gonna need you to run her through what you're doing."
I want to know.
But I feel bad because like the tech was super nice and stuff, and I'm not saying that they messed my furnace up, but the furnace is not right.
Yeah, it's hard because you have an older furnace, so it's possible that it's just time. And
well, an older furnace that has been serviced twice in 6 months. Once was routine and once was because of an issue. And both times have been told that the furnace is good.
Yeah, that's what they tell you. No, actually, that's not what they tell you. So
no, it's not. So, and if they didn't mess something up and it's just that the problem wasn't the board, but yet somehow replacing the board exacerbated the problem.
Yeah.
Which I mentioned that to the woman on the phone. I was like, you guys were just here yesterday and now my furnace doesn't work. But if it's not that, then it's got to be the smart valve, and that's like $1,000 repair.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Michelle. So what's funny is I woke up this morning and actually had like the attitude of like, you know what? I'm starting to finally feel Christmassy. Like I had a bad run of luck, right at Christmas time. I needed new brakes and then I needed new wheel bearings. So I'm like broke for Christmas, which is like the best possible scenario. I know that you're not thrilled with money this holiday season either.
Yeah. I also had a pretty bad run of luck with stuff.
Well, was it mostly the dentist?
Excuse me. Yes, it was. Actually, it was like pretty much all the dentists. I just didn't expect. Oh, I think there was something else. Oh, no, it was dentists combined with like getting new siding on my house and then breaking a bunch of things and having to repair them and replace them. But mostly it was the dentist. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, the siding thing. That had slipped my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've just been like, thanks to all the car stuff, I'm out like $1,700.
Yeah.
But I'm not out $1,700. I'm up $1,700 in debt is what it really comes down to.
Or you could talk like those people talk when they want you to get a new home thing for your home and say that your car is now worth $1,700 more dollars. Which is not true, and it's not true when they tell me that getting a new furnace would raise the cost of my house the amount that the furnace costs. That's not true.
I think it's possible that it could positively affect your house. But cars are the polar opposite because cars only depreciate every second they exist. I knew a guy who bought this like sports car for like 70 or 80 grand. And I was like, okay, because he wasn't like a rich guy, he bought it and he's like driving it to and from his factory job. Now, now the reason I'm saying this so dismissively is because of his argument for why he got the car.
Okay.
Because he mentioned that the engine was this like special weird cylindered engine and that it would be a collector's item.
Oh, okay.
And all I'm thinking is like that you're driving to work every day. I don't think that's going to depreciate, homie. Like, I think that's I think you had a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like when you buy a car, it was just weird that he called a car a collector's item, but it's his only car. It's the car he drives to and from work.
Yeah, that's probably not how you want to do that.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I've always heard that that thing that may be an urban myth that, you know, the moment you drive a new car off the lot, it immediately depreciates by almost half.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much it is, but it's definitely not worth the same amount of money anymore. Because it's not new.
It's not new, damn it. People want new, shiny things. Not really. I would never buy a new car unless I just had money to burn.
Me too. But
I mean, I would get like a 2-year-old car.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like, that's the sign that I've made it. If I buy like a car that's only a year or two old, like I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good at that point. So I'm a little grouchy. I feel bad because I'm doing the show on grouches.
That's okay.
I'm just sick of this stuff. I mean, so it's just funny that I was having a pretty okay feeling. I was like, man, maybe I am feeling Christmassy. And now I like wake up and I'm like, man, today's going to be really difficult. Now I mean, I don't want people to be like, oh my God, we have to run to Henrique's Patreon. Do you hear how he's suffering? I'm okay. Like I took on the debt I could survive. And I rent, so I actually don't pay for these furnace repairs. It's the inconvenience that's pissing me off. And I'm a pretty active tenant. Like I schedule everything. I just don't pay the bill. So I'm still inconvenienced and still have to figure all this crap out. I just don't have to pay it.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing. Yeah. But I'm just so tired. I just want to do stuff today that I already have to do. I have to take Henwolf to get her shots. And then, and she's so weird. She's like me. She's like excited to go to the vet. She loves every second of it. It's like me. I love going to the doctor, and people are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, it's fun. Everyone's so nice. I'm a lame wad.
It's good.
So let's talk about your pain instead of mine. You recently dealt with like a dentist that was basically an auto mechanic.
Yeah, it's exactly the right that thing.
So
yeah.
So I know. So you live in the Philadelphia area, and you had, like many people, you had like a family dentist, but it was back in Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
So you decided to try to establish yourself a dentist near you.
Yes.
And so tell us all how that went, and don't spare any detail.
Okay. No. Okay. So basically, unlike you, I am not excited about going to doctors. I'm actually, I guess, kind of a hypochondriac, but I'm like a backwards hypochondriac, because it's like I also have anxiety about letting people help me. So like, it's like I'm scared of everything, but I don't tell anybody about it usually. But I've been like not living. I mean, I've been kind of moving around for the last a bunch of years or so. And so I just didn't have like a regular dentist, and I don't have any teeth problems. And I think I take pretty good care of my teeth. I brush them a lot. I floss them. But I needed to like go to a dentist, and I was looking at my teeth and I was like, wait, is that like a cavity? What does a cavity look like? And it wasn't a cavity. It was, I guess, just a stain, but it scared me. And I was like, okay, I have to stop putting off going to the dentist. And, my family was like, you should just go back to the dentist in New Jersey. It's only like an hour and a half from you. It's not that big a deal. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, but like, why wouldn't I just find a dentist that's around here?
Yeah, you're an adult, damn it. You can get your own dentist.
I can have a dentist that's local. I mean, the deal is like, I guess it's different because I don't have dental insurance. So it doesn't matter where I go to the dentist. I still have to pay for it. And to be fair, I could have dental insurance, but it is too expensive and it doesn't cover very much.
Very expensive.
It's like something like $40 a month. And then it like only covers like cleanings. So like, why would I do that?
Yeah, I don't have insurance. I have a membership to my dentist. and it's like it's $32 a month, and it gets me 2 cleanings and an X-ray every year, and then 20% off almost every procedure.
Right. And a lot of places do that. My dentist in New Jersey does not do that, but I was looking for a dentist in the area, and I was like looking online, and I found one that's like right down the street from me. So it looks like it's a pretty big practice. And they had like tons of reviews, which doesn't seem normal for dentists or really doctors. People don't normally go online and review their dentists and doctors, really. Like my dentist in New Jersey has like 6 reviews. But like, so they were really positive, and the ones that were negative were like the front desk wasn't nice to me. And I was like, I don't care. So I figured I'll go to them. And also they had kind of a like insurance type plan. Like you pay like $199 or something a year, and you get 2 cleanings and like x-rays for free. And then you get a certain amount off any procedures you need done. So I was like, okay, that sounds totally cool. That'd save me a bunch of money in the long run, maybe. So I was able to like make an appointment online, which is really good because I didn't have to call anybody and talk to them. So I set up an appointment, and I went in, and I just had like a really weird experience where like I saw like a dental hygienist, and normally when I think when you go to the dentist, like what I'm used to is like you go in and there's like a hygienist and they clean your teeth and maybe do x-rays, and then a dentist comes in and like tells you about your teeth and like looks at them and stuff. This place, they didn't clean my teeth. They just like looked at my teeth. So weird. Yeah, they gave me x-rays, but like I'm used to x-rays being kind of slightly uncomfortable, but not taking forever. But these like took forever and like made me almost throw up, which is fun. But that's okay because I have a small mouth and it's complicated. I know, everybody can stop telling me. So basically she was like messing around, and she's like, your gums are like real swollen, and you have periodontal disease or whatever it is. And I was just like, what? And she's like, yeah, but it doesn't look like it's too bad yet. So we recommend that you get a deep cleaning, a deep scaling, like immediately. So you don't have to get surgery in the future. And, so I like almost did it basically.
Well, and I can't blame you, because I mean that's why I said it was like an auto mechanic, because you have to put trust into like doctors and dentists and mechanics and stuff like that, because they specialize in something that you don't really know a lot about, and not just that we don't know a lot about it, but we lack confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's too scary to like sit there and go, I have a cavity, or say I don't have a cavity, or say, oh, my steering wheel just needs this. It's too scary because it's important.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm actually one of those people that like is not easily scammed by auto mechanics or any of that kind of stuff. I've dealt with enough people who have tried to scam me with furnaces and my car to know that if anybody is super friendly and says that I seem like someone who is pretty smart, that they're lying to me. Oh God,
that's the worst.
Yeah, like every time someone does that, I'm like, okay.
You seem like a smart.
Yeah,
you seem like a smart young woman.
Like, yeah, that kind of stuff. And that's happened multiple times. And it's like, always like, you don't fucking know me, dude. Like, you don't know that I'm smart.
I'm dumb as fuck. How dare you?
Like, what are you talking about? But anytime someone says that, they're lying to me. But also, like, anytime anyone's alarmist, I, like, get worried. But with my car and with my furnace and with things like that, like, I know what a normal thing is, basically. Like, if my car isn't doing anything wrong and somebody tells me that there's a catastrophe in the future, like, I'm suspicious.
Have you ever gotten the honestly, I shouldn't even let you drive out of here like that?
I've never gotten that, but I've gotten
I have.
I've gotten like close to that. Like, this could be a major problem down the road kind of thing.
Literally wah down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Uses those.
Yeah. Roads.
I'm sorry. But no, so the dentist is like, oh man, this is a high mileage mouth. You gotta
exactly. But like the problem with medical professionals is that like I've never had a doctor try to scam me, and that might be because of just insurance, because the insurance company would be like, no, I'm not going to have her get this test. I'm not going to pay for it. But like, I just kind of, what?
Oh, I was just, if I may, I think that this is a terrible thing to say, but I think that the reason you've never had a doctor try to scam you is because they don't scam you. They scam insurance companies.
Yeah, there you go. They're just not scamming me.
No, and because I literally, as I was thinking about what you said, I was like, I think that it's just the norm that doctors scam. And I know that's terrible. I don't think they're doing it out of malice.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're like, yeah, cut your leg off. It'll be dope. $57,000. I don't think that's what they're doing, but I do think, because I buy all of my healthcare with cash, and they treat me very differently, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm never getting anything unnecessary, and I'm never paying more. I'm always paying less.
Yeah, well, because they are. It is a giant scam to the insurance companies. Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Anyway, back. So dentists, scams, doctors, etc.
Yeah. So I didn't know that that was a thing, that like a medical professional would try to scam me, because that seems super dangerous.
Sure. But not when you prescribe something innocuous, like a deep cleaning, descaling. That's like when my first oil change in the state of New Jersey, the guy was like, "Man, who did your oil change last?" And I was like, the place I always use." Like, "Well, they didn't really change your oil. I'll tell you that much right now, because that oil." I'm not kidding. I'm not paraphrasing at all, because I have a photographic memory of things I hear. Man, because that oil in there, I mean, it's as black as your t-shirt there. I was wearing a black t-shirt, and I literally was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's bad. Like, it's really bad in there." And at this point, I'm like 19, and my car has 68,000 miles on it. And I'm like, okay. He's like, "I'd recommend a full flush. It'd be $97." And I'm like, just change my oil.
Yeah.
Please. And the guy's like, "All right, I mean, it's your car." That was, oh my God, I remember, because I used to say that to people all the time as a joke. And it was "It's your car," because that's what he fucking said to me. "It's your car." But then when, of course, you'll love this, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can't believe I hadn't thought of this for a while. He fucking comes up to me after. He's like, "All right, your oil's been changed." He's like, we went in there and we sprayed some water around and stuff and tried to help you out as best we could about the gunk." And I literally was like, "Oh, cool. So if I take it to another mechanic and they don't find the problem you found, it's because you fixed it out of the goodness of your heart." And this was like this was not like this is exactly where you'd expect this kind of bullshit. This was like one of those, you pull in and they change your oil right there, and then you pull out places.
Yeah.
And I've had great experiences with those in Ohio, and only truly terrible experiences with those in Jersey. But Jersey was like bizarro world. Like, the little mechanics were always trying to screw me, but like the Volkswagen dealer was super honest and helpful. I was like, where am I?
Yeah.
So sorry, but it's your car. I hope everyone he loved died. Wow, I'm grouchy today. Okay, so they give you this innocuous thing about like, this is what is wrong.
Yeah, it's a deep scaling, and for people who don't know, it is like a real procedure, because I looked it up and got really scared. But like, what they do is they numb your mouth, and then they clean, like they scrape under your gums, like real under, because when you have that disease, like the thing that's happening is that, like, according to them, your gums, like there's so much like bacteria and germs under your gum line that your gums are freaking out, and basically there's an autoimmune response, and it's destroying your teeth. So they got to get that out. Or you're not gonna have teeth or something. I'm not sure. So they're telling me all this stuff, and all I'm thinking is like, and also they knew that I hadn't been to the dentist in a long time. So this is a really good time to do this to me. So all I'm thinking is like, I just totally fucked up my whole life. I obviously don't know how to brush my teeth, and I am gonna need it. Like, and they were like, "Oh, and it's gonna be like, if you sign up for, our insurance, it's going to be like $939. If you don't, it's $1,100. And I was like, okay, well, I have money that I keep just in case something terrible happens to me. So I guess I could use that, I guess.
Yeah, but the terrible thing that happened to you was the diagnosis, not any actual ailments.
Yes, but I don't know that. And like I scheduled an appointment and it cost me over like $229 for that visit just for a checkup, and they didn't even do anything.
Yeah, they didn't even clean your teeth?
No, they didn't clean my teeth. They just looked at them.
That's so fucking weird, because I mean I pay cash at the dentist and it's like $210 or $190 or $200 whatever when I get a cleaning, a checkup, and an x-ray.
Yeah, exactly. And this was like just x-rays and them staring at my teeth. They like did nothing. But like, and then the dentist came in after I was like, I guess I'm going to do this, and like said I was going to do it. And the dentist came in and was like, looked at my teeth and was like, everything looks good. I think like your gums look a little weird, but I think it's like pseudo-pocketing. So maybe when we do this thing, it'll be fine. I was like, I don't even know what you mean by pseudo-pocketing, because that would mean it's fake pocketing. Like, what are you talking about? So
your teeth are faking it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just left there and I like scheduled an appointment for like 2 hours later, because I was like, I don't know what to do. My mouth is going to like stop being a mouth soon. So, and luckily, and I was like, I probably need to talk to somebody about this before I do this. And, luckily, like my dad, I had missed a call from my dad. So I called him back and I told him what happened, and he was like, I think that's a scam. Like, don't do that.
That was the first thing I said to you when you told me about this.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
That's like literally every person I've told about it has been like, I don't think that's a thing that happens.
Oh shit. Somebody just rang my fucking doorbell. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Oh God.
Why
is this day cursed?
Is it the person with the
phone?
furnace?
I couldn't hear you. Okay, I'm back.
Sorry.
I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay. That's even worse.
And the dogs. Oh, no, it was like a guy. I'm guessing he's like gig delivering some Amazon packages or something.
Okay.
I should just leave all of this in instead of editing it out. That way people can know who I truly am.
So they know what's going on.
Okay. Wolfie, please. Hey, that worked. She's a very polite dog. Oh, nope.
No,
did not
just
work.
for a second.
So yeah, everybody's like, sounds like a scam.
Yeah. And so my dad was like, and I was like, I just made an appointment. And he's like, go and cancel the appointment. So I was like sitting in the parking lot, like really upset. So I was like, let me just go back inside and just go up to them and be like, no. And they had like, they have someone specifically who sets up these kind of appointments. And she was just still there. And I was like, I'm going to cancel. And she's like, okay, let me know when you want to set it back up. And I was like, all right. So I like went home and like actually like hurt my mouth trying to brush it harder, which is fun. But like what ended up happening is I made an appointment with my dentist in New Jersey, and I went there like a week later and basically like was stressed out like all week. And I went and like I was like, everyone was like, you should just tell him, say it's a second opinion. And I was like, I don't want to like give them information that makes them scam me somehow. And I was like going to just tell him at the end, but like I had made my gums really swollen the day before brushing them too hard. So like when I went
overcompensating.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I went in and he asked me, like how I was doing. And I said I was okay, but then I brushed my teeth really hard because a dentist told me that I had to have a deep scaling, and he just laughed at me.
Now, when you say he laughed at you, I mean he just chuckled.
Yeah, no, I mean he wasn't laughing like you're stupid. He was laughing like, oh my god, like I can't believe they said that to you. Yeah, he pointed though, and then he called everybody in.
Like the patients and everybody?
Yeah, there was only one patient, and he was on his way out, so he like was like, come back here, I want to show you something.
And he was like, oh, I don't want to miss this.
Yeah.
So your dentist was just like, yeah, this is a total scam?
Yeah, he was like, it's a scam, and it happens a lot. And that's doesn't make me feel good. And it's one of those things, he was like, usually with kind of bigger practices And I think we had kind of talked about this, and you'd said, oh, I thought it would probably be with smaller people, but it's like the same as with auto mechanics, at least in my experience. Little auto mechanics, like I have a shop that I go to that is like great, but if I bring my car to, a bigger one like Midas, they will scam me. So it's like very similar to that dentist. They have multiple offices, and I guess this is what they do.
See, my bad experience with smaller mechanics is usually related to competence.
Oh yeah, mine is too. Yeah. I've definitely been to mechanics that don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
I remember that one time I gave my car to a local mechanic, and he kept it for 3.5 weeks and never called me once.
Dude, that's happened to my family as well. Yes.
Yeah. I remember calling and saying, hey, so I'll be there at 4. And they're like, your car's not ready. And I'm like, well,
right, yeah.
Okie dokie. See, that's the thing I hate. I hate this innocuous shit. It's one of the reasons I'm nervous about my furnace. Is because it's like it needs a new board. And I'm like, blink, blink. I don't know what that fucking means.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm going to say yes because it's cheaper than the other thing. I did call my buddy Dave, whose dad owns an HVAC company. But they're not local enough to be my service provider, which sucks because I would love to work with them.
Absolutely.
But they're a half an hour away, which is pretty far. But no, I'm glad you didn't get scammed. So your dentist gave you a proper examination and cleaning, right?
He actually cleaned my teeth, and it was on a day that his hygienist was off, so he cleaned my teeth, which was super
that's
weird.
Nice.
Yeah. So he definitely saw all of my mouth, which is nice, and he did x-rays again, so I got many x-rays.
You have so many x-rays.
Yeah.
You know what drives me crazy?
What?
When people post like memes and stuff that are about like how it's like x-rays are totally safe, and then it's like also dentist and they're like hiding behind a shield or whatever. And all I think is like, well, that they get zapped 80 times a day, right?
Yeah.
You get zapped once every year. Anyway, sorry, it's just like that always drove me crazy because I love a good meme as much as anybody. In fact, I think I sent you that one of the baby doing crappy push-ups where somebody was pointing out that the baby was bad at push-ups. That's funny. That made me laugh. Memes are fun.
Yeah.
But no, it's I'm just glad you didn't get you got a little scammed, unfortunately, by the paying them to look at your mouth and not fucking do anything.
Yeah.
Which I am pretty fucking pissed that they would do that. I mean, like they should have cleaned your fucking teeth.
I know. And like, I told you that and you were like, they didn't clean it. And then I told my mom because she was like, wait, if you're not going to tell him what happened, my dentist, he's going to know because your teeth are clean. And I was like, they didn't clean my teeth. And she was like, what are you talking about? So like, obviously this is like the easiest thing for them to do because they don't even have to do real cleaning. They just charge you for like staring at your mouth and lying. And then you go back and pay them.
Which I would do for half as much money.
Yeah, me
Stare
too.
at someone's teeth and lie. Yeah.
I do it for $20.
I would you just look in somebody's mouth. I do it for more like 85, but you just look in somebody's mouth and then be like, as long as you vote for the best candidate, things are going to work out. And then you let them out the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would accomplish as much. I'm half laughing at the situation, half laughing at how bent out of shape I am today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean just that like most of my humor has been really aggressive. But here's the real question. Okay, yes. Michelle, this is the real question. Have you gotten vengeance yet?
No, and I don't know how to.
Well, you could start by reviewing them on every service.
Well, I'm going to do that, but I need to check into something first because when I was in between dentists in that week, looking into this, and I did read an article that said that that's a real procedure, but it might still be a scam because people overprescribe them. I did notice that they said that most states dental hygienists are not allowed to diagnose that. But it didn't say what states it was allowed, so I have to check if PA is one of those states, because if it is, that's what they're getting in all of their reviews, so they can't be like, you really do have it. They're getting like a very factual, like, these people are doing something that is against what they should be doing, or illegal. I don't know how that works with dentists. So I got to look into that. And then I will, and regardless of what it says, I do want to review them because I want to stop people from getting scammed.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You should review them at the Better Business Bureau too.
Ooh, I could do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and because the Better Business Bureau will really try to protect people. So definitely hit up the Better Business Bureau.
Okay.
Because fuck them. I've written 4 complaints to the Better Business Bureau in my life.
Huh.
The biggest one was to that auto mechanic that really tried to screw me, which I feel like if I tell that story now, I'm just going to be angrier.
Oh, okay.
But they just lied. They literally just lied to me about the inner workings of my car. I couldn't get my car to start because it would start and it would shut off. And it was because there was something wrong with what's called an immobilizer, which is the thing that keeps your car from getting stolen. Right. And they told me it was because my key, or not because my key, they told me it was because my immobilizer was busted and I needed to pay $300 to get it diagnosed. But I did some research, and my research suggested that it was the microchip in my key fob that wasn't telling the immobilizer to shut off. Yeah. So I said, and then, because then they made me a new key that didn't have a chip in it, and it wouldn't start the car because my key had broken. God. So I remember literally being like, this key won't start my car. And they're like, oh, well, we better look at your car. And I was like, but this key doesn't have a microchip in it. I'm like, yeah, it does. And my cousin Jeff was there with me. He was like, how the fuck did you put a fucking microchip in a metal key? How does that work?
Well, you can take a microchip and then you could like melt metal onto it, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do.
I don't think the microchip would still be okay, but it could be in there.
Yeah, it could, and monkeys could fly out of my butt.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. You can email us at thisshowисawkward@gmail.com or go to awkwardshow.com or whatever. See you next time.